Yeah, podcast, season 5, episode 2, with our guest today, S. R. Berserk by her username. Welcome.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
All
Hello,
right.
hello.
So yes, we are here. Yeah, what was going on? You gotta fill me in because I was not listening. You guys were chatting, and I missed part of this conversation. What are you guys talking about?
Berserk was asking how long we've been doing this, and I was telling her that I'd only been a permanent co-host for a little over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
But you had been doing it longer, and I know like you had a previous co-host, but I think life things had happened there, and they had to step
Yes.
back. And then
Yes.
I had been a guest a couple times, so you just invited me on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think it started with like 4 people, went down to 3, went down to 2, went down to 1, and then back up to 2. So we're back up to 2 again. So it's been up and down. But technically, season 5, Faye also suggested, why don't you post these? And I didn't start posting them probably until about 2 years ago. So it's been ongoing. So there's a lot of archives on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So the bot would be on YouTube, but everything, yeah. But yes,
Hmm.
welcome today's guest, Bess, or Berserk will go by Bess, but welcome again.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Good evening.
All
Or
right.
good morning.
So we got a quick cold open question. See if you guys have any thoughts on this. So have you ever felt like you didn't fully belong anywhere, even the place you're from? So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's might be a little irrational for some people, but like
Literally everywhere.
everywhere. Okay, care to elaborate then? It's a like feeling of belongingness, or what do you
Hmm?
think? What do you think?
Uh, I mean, let's let Bess go first.
Yeah.
So, hello. Hello, everyone. So, I guess the story behind this is that um, I never felt that connected to my roots, and I've been traveling, or I've been treading along this journey of finding out what true belonging actually means. So yeah, hence the subject of today's topic, which is stuff about belonging. Where can you find your belonging?
Sure.
What it means, and yeah, things like that.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I get also a comment because like being also born in a country where typically um, the people weren't similar to me. I was born in Australia, so my parents left Vietnam way back when communists, South Vietnam, because when communists like took over, they got on a boat. They all got to the refugee camp first, and then everyone kind of separated. So like most of my mom's family ended up in around the Pennsylvania area, sort of around Philadelphia. Most of my dad's family ended up in Oregon, so all the way on across the coast. I think one of my uncles ended up in Texas, so it's kind of where everyone took you. And my family was early enough got sponsored to Australia, so the sense of belonging there was kind of interesting because like looking at yourself probably and looking at everyone else around you, you don't look the same. You're like, that is interesting, but never like you ever think of that to be different because you grew up there, you live there, you were taking the same food, you're taking the same traditions and everything. So like, would you have, I mean, I don't know. I never got that sense of not thinking that I didn't fully belong until someone pointed out that I look different. So
Mm.
but that occurred for a while. But yeah, but say real quick if you want to kind of expand on yours slightly, not too much, but good.
I mean, so y'all both have the whole like country of origin thing, which feels much bigger than mine. Mine's just complaining a little bit. I was a step kid in a household where it was very obvious that I wasn't particularly wanted.
Mm-mm.
Um, I was specifically by the biological parent that I was living with because I was proof that there had been someone before the current spouse.
Mm-mm.
And, you know, being like the odd kid out, and
Mm-hmm.
like my siblings made it very, very clear that it was them who shared the same parent versus me. And then we moved around so much. Like if you throw a dart at a map of the US, I've lived there or been there or something. So like making friends is really hard when you move around a lot. You're always the new kid.
Mm-mm.
And we're always bouncing like from East Coast to West Coast, back to East Coast, back to, to the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
to the South, and the North. So the US is big, and the culture changes quite a lot from when you go from one to the other. And we would stay in a place just long enough where I'd start to pick up on how you're supposed to act. And then we move, and now all those things that I just learned make me weird again.
Oh yeah,
So,
totally understand. But
just
yeah.
between the home thing and the moving thing, I never felt like I fit in any of it.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, so I guess that's absolutely perfect that you brought it up where um where me and Ty were talking about like country of origin thing and how you felt like um your experience wasn't like on the same sort of level, but that's like exactly what we're gonna talk about today. That's kind of like what I wanted to like bring up. What does belongingness actually mean, and where
Mm-hmm.
can you find it? So that's
Exactly.
perfect. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, that's so cool. Okay,
So,
all right.
so we're definitely gonna dive into that. So it's kind of so we're gonna talk like things we usually talk about on the podcast is like name breakdown because we come across very interesting usernames in passing. They can get very very well very I don't know how long the story is, but how she switched names for what reason why, but definitely people have different names and come up with that. And we're gonna go into AMA questions, so ask me anything. So we're gonna dive into topics maybe we talked about, maybe someone wants to know about each other, for each of the host and the guests. And of course, it's gonna be face hyperfixation of the month. Maybe what it would be. Okay, don't dive into it too far. We talk about it beforehand because she hates to get it out of the way early. She's like, I don't have it. But yeah. All right. So the your name. So you go by Berserk. Can you explain what does that mean or why you chose that?
Yeah, so my name is Berserk, and it's a play on my name. So I do go by Bess, and I was looking for a username, and I like the anime manga series Berserk, and I just combined the two. And yeah, I like it. Whenever I pop on someone's stream, the first reaction is usually like, "Oh, Berserk, like the anime." I'm like, "Yes, exactly."
There
So
you go.
it's really simple, it's recognizable, and yeah, that's what my name means.
So maybe you gotta understand that you're more anime than I am. So
Well,
Mm.
I'm aware of Berserk.
all right,
I
there you
was
go. The funny thing though, and I did come across this because I typed it and I guess I forgot the underscore. I assuming someone has Berserk without
Yeah.
the underscore.
it's a very popular series. I would be shocked if there weren't many variations of it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. And it was an inactive account as well. And I was like, "Grr, I'm gonna have to add the underscore after it."
yeah, I feel like when they pulled the clip up and I was like, oh, this person plays Minecraft. And I was like, wait a second, this isn't Bess. And I was like, oh no, I forgot the underscore. And I realized typing it out today, I was like, there are a lot of Berserks in different variation forms going down the way.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
Faye, you can share your, because I kind of alluded to your name change. So your name change from your first username to this name.
Yeah, because my original username on Twitch was Almost Famous, and that's because my middle name is Faye. It's easy to pun off of, so I use that online. I was streaming for like 2 years before somebody mentioned the movie to me. I'd never heard of the movie. I think it was you, Ty.
It was me. Yes, it was.
And then Ty was like, "Oh, like the movie?" And then I was like, "What movie?" And then after that, before Ty had mentioned it, 2 years I had been streaming. Before he mentioned it, nobody ever said anything about it. After that, every time I go into somebody's channel, "Oh, like the movie?" But yeah, I also had to do the underscore thing.
Yeah. But what's your evolution now to the username you picked?
Fatal Flaw?
Yes.
So my favorite game series is a series called Fatal Frame, specifically 1 through 3. Don't play 4 and 5, guys. It's bad.
Yeah.
So I was kind of riffing off of that with the fatal thing, and then like I didn't want to go full Fatal Frame because I don't want to be like pigeonholed too much, and I'm a flawed person and I'm learning to like really embrace all of the flaws and the weirdness and things. So I was like, you know what? That flows. Let's run with it.
Yeah.
And nobody had it.
There you go. No one
Yeah.
had it. Your first one there. So yeah. But I don't know. I think this question's probably I had listed next come up for cultural of name, but then never mind. I don't think this kind of relates to the screening because your name, of course, we can't share our names because technically that would dox us. But I just because I guess come from a cultural restricted paper, I wouldn't know. Well, my name definitely okay. Well, my name's kind of easy enough because like I did not have anything fancy. It also is Thai. I just added Titanical to stretch it out. They always ask me too, is that your real name? Like, yes, it is my real name.
Yeah, no, like that
creative.
tripped me up. Ty, because Ty and I are roommates. And so when I was moving in, I was like, hey, like, because we always referred to each other by our Twitch names. And I was like, hey, like, since we're going to be living together, what's your actual name?
Ty.
And he's just like, it's just Ty.
Yeah, that's so strong.
I was like, oh, my bad.
Exactly. But I think like
I'm the same as well. My name's Bess.
oh, there you go. So
look, I used my middle name.
yeah. So there you go. Don't dox us, people. You have our first names. We're not for a face middle name, but still. But yeah, like I feel like yeah, like even the fact that the name, like anyone comes up with my name, they look at it like they always think their H is not silent, even though the H is silent. They go Thigh.
Thigh.
Like that is not how you pronounce my name. And they're like,
no, but I love that.
But then, yeah, I will go to the last name. My last name is easy enough to pronounce that people don't get that wrong. But usually my first name. But like, by the chance, like they took my last name, they were like, oh yeah, that's easy enough to pronounce because like it's easy enough to but yeah, like growing up because like I think I was Vietnamese growing up in Australia, so surrounded by many English names. Could be like Matthew, Scott, Tony, you know,
John,
Daniel, like yeah. So I didn't do my name to be like as you know, out of the norm. But I always had to correct anyone who tried to pronounce it because I always wanted to add the H sound. Then I was like, it's like tie, like bow tie, like tie you tie around your neck. And then they're
also
like,
like,
oh, yeah.
have they never heard of Thai food for serious?
Some people have not heard of Thai food, probably. They never had Thai food before, you never know. So
America is a backwards country and we need better education.
so yeah. But
it's so good though.
yeah, that I think I had variations on my name. Of course of like, you know, like the occasional birth year and all that stuff, because like try to like keep that at least like something I could remember or identify. But yeah, I think it's identical. When I came up was like tyrannical, and I was like, wait, no, tyrannical something. Then I'm like,
that's not good.
And I was like, oh no, then I don't know. I just like tyrannical, and then I was like, all right, I got it. There you go. But yeah, so, but yeah, like I feel like that kind of almost does tie into how like sense of belonging, because like sometimes you're like, look at your name, you don't think your name is necessarily anything different, but you know, it's who you are per se. You know, you go by that name, you identify that name, and that kind of defines who you are as a person. But I also have to bring up to Faye, because my sub renewed for your channel today. You still need to change your subscription names. They're still almost famous subscriptions. So like,
wait, what?
So you know, every subscription you name the subscription level. It could be just like some people generically put something in. You put your old username, so it still says almost.
I never set those. I never set those, so I didn't know I needed to change those. Those are just default what Twitch
Well,
said.
Twitch put. Well, there you go. Well, there you
So
go.
I was not aware. Thank you for letting me know.
I will have to note this for you later because you know how Faye is. If you don't let her know later, she'll forget about it. So,
Cute.
sorry, Beth. This is kind of our we know each other well enough, our quirks and our things not to, or things to do and things to remind each other if you need something to get done around here. But yeah.
That's cute.
So yeah. Oh, before we go, that I forgot to add this in. So let's go. So Faye, it's been a month since we've been here.
Yes.
What's been the update? What are you on? What's up new with you?
I've been dealing with some medical issues, so outside of that, nothing really fun has been happening. Just trying to be not in pain anymore.
Gotcha. But
So
we had, I mean, it's probably a loop from the line. We had lots of snow here.
we did. Sorry, that was kind of second. That was far back in my mind.
Far back in mind. Yeah.
I was not thinking about that. But yeah, no, we have had a lot of snow this month. Why? Why is there so much snow? I hate it.
Welcome to Pennsylvania, Faye. This is what we got. We get snow.
I don't approve.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm a southerner. I wasn't built for the snow.
oh, Beth, do you get any kind of like, I don't know, because you're in the Philippines. What are your weather patterns usually over there?
Hot and hotter.
That's what I'm used to.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Bess, let me come crash with you for a little bit.
Oh hell yeah! I can switch through the stove for a quick sec. I
Yeah.
can.
But yeah, Beth. Oh, I forgot to kind of go. What do you usually stream? Because people probably don't know.
Oh
I've heard
yeah.
of you. Let's go over that real quick before I continue.
So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Bess, or I go by Berserk. Some people also call me B because I have a crochet bee on my head. And yeah, I
I
usually
love that.
yes, and I usually stream co-working a lot because I work from home and I'm a freelance designer. So might as well do some body doubling there and get some work done along with other people. So that's something that I really like. And I also like to stream some games from time to time when I can, especially on the weekends. Lately, I've been trying to finish Hollow Knight. I've been replaying Elden Ring, and yeah, a bunch of games like that. So yeah, those are the things I've been streaming lately. And yeah,
Faye's
I'm
impressed.
jealous.
And jealous.
I'm jealous. Also, I want to see this crocheted bee.
It's right
Oh my
on.
God.
You didn't have.
it's over in here. I don't have it here. Oh, it's here. Yes. I usually have it on my
Nice.
head like this.
Precious.
So when
am in
I'm
love.
bopping to music, it's like it moves as well. So.
There you go. Nice.
No,
It's a good, like,
so
talking
cute,
point.
though. Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah.
Stop! I
Really-
can't. It's so cute.
I'm gonna keep it on.
Beth,
Amazing.
you've tapped into Faye's passion for crocheting and knitting and such. There you go. So yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah, and then definitely if you guys are well, I'm not gonna put that link there, but twitch.tv/berserk with an underscore. So just make sure you know. All right. So but yeah, what else is going on for me? Winter is the snow. The snow is pretty much it. I was talking this before, but I kind of will bring it up on the podcast, not too for legal information. I'm not going to legally talk about what I'm doing before, but our place we live, there's an ordinance for snow removal, right? So with that big snowstorm that we had, that piled about 9 inches, like from average from the driveway back to where we park.
Yeah,
But then-
I stuck a ruler in it. That's right.
Yeah, but then of course with the sidewalk. So the sidewalk is the main part of this ordinance for the borough, saying that we need to remove the snow 24 hours. But with the snow memes, everything, it was at least like 20 inches, right? Compacted because all the snow pushed up to the sidewalk. So
Yeah. So for anybody who's not from a snowy area and doesn't know how these things work, because I didn't know how they worked before I moved up here, the snow trucks come through and they have like an angled kind of like shelf blade on the front, and it just shoves everything to the side. So you've got like, it was 9 inches flat across the road, and then they just shove it all up onto your
Oh
sidewalk
my goodness.
and then tell you to deal with it.
Oh my god. You'll
So
probably.
what should have been 9 inches of shoveling becomes like easily 20 to 25 inches of shoveling. And it
Yeah.
also gets like compacted in when it gets moved by the blade, so it's dense and heavier.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So I got a citation for not removing it within 24 hours. So court date coming up. I'm gonna try to appeal it. So we'll see what happens. But going through that is one thing. Other than that, work has been super busy, so I've been focused on. We're getting moving to a new platform on Monday, so I've been anxiously coding, doing all my stuff, making sure everything's good. I know everything's going to be good, but we will see by Monday what happens. So yes. All right. So that leads us into our first topic of belonging and identity. And I want to kind of let you go best because there's just a couple points that you brought up, but can you kind of give us kind of like a background to give everyone kind of context of your I guess your background for life? I don't know what I was trying to figure out words. I just end up with life.
I
But go
got
ahead.
you. I got you. But yeah, I guess the reason why I brought up this topic today was because throughout my entire life, um, I've been struggling with the sense of feeling like, where do I find my place? So, just for like extra background, extra context. So, I'm fully Filipino. I was raised in the Middle East. I wasn't taught my mother tongue, and um, I grew up in a community that was predominantly international. So, I never felt like I found my place amongst my people. I never felt like I found my place amongst people from different cultures. And that sort of also shaped the way that I viewed um, my dynamics between people. So it kind of also shaped how my personality became as an adult, and also like while growing up. Like, of course, when you're going through that, you kind of become more timid, a bit quieter than the rest of the people. So the stuff I'm gonna talk about today is how do you navigate that sort of thing. So you don't particularly have to relate exactly to what my situation is like, but maybe you've seen yourself, or you've felt yourself feel like you've been in spots where you think, maybe I don't belong here, but then where do I place my footing? So it's that sort of thing. So right now I'm still like trying to navigate that sort of thing. Even with my career choices right now, I'm trying to like place my foot here in art. I'm trying to place my foot here in tech, and I'm trying to find a balance between the two. So it's kind of that, including that also as well. Where do you find your belonging? Where do you find your niche? So yeah, that sort of thing. Mm-mm.
Okay, you're nodding your head a lot. Do you agree with many of those points?
Oh yeah, no, like same experience, different font.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I feel like I think that's like a thing for anyone, right? Because like you want to have a sense of belonging, you want a sense of community, you want a sense of knowing like, you know, you're not going to be judged per se based on something you're not aware of, something you don't know. I could see that. That's a lot of different kind of like aspects because like, man, for my geographical locations from Australia to like Pennsylvania and going back and forth, I was like, I think from Israel's standpoint, there wasn't that many Asians. Like I would have to travel to certain areas to where the concentration were. But then that also brings up a point of, like certain communities, like certain cities. I'm not sure how it's in the Philippines, but like around Philadelphia, there's Chinatown, there's the Italian section of the city. I don't know what else sections would be classified on off the top of my head, but usually they're geared towards like cultural things, like maybe Asian stores opened up in one area. Yeah, Italian markets, kind of like the open air markets where most of the stores are there. That kind of resembles probably what was in Italy at one point, where you could walk down the street, and it's kind of interesting. Like I mean, favorite probably kind of reads like America's kind of the melting pot. There's so many different cultures and people and groups here that's very hard, I guess, almost to not find you kind of like wondering where you belong and where to go. So,
Mm.
so yeah, how would you? I mean, hey, what were any ideas? I know it's kind of hard to. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Today?
Well, I can't really speak to any of the like foreign culture parts of it. Mostly when it comes to like culture differences, like recently I've been really struggling with the whole moving up from the south, and the north is so different. Like it does feel like I've gone to a different country. I might as well have gone to Canada for how different things feel here. Straight up, y'all use words that I don't understand. I'm like, I know that word is English, but what do you mean? All of those words individually made sense, but not together.
That is true.
Ty has seen me struggle with that. I do think that like being in a city kind of makes it easier. For me, being in cities has made it easier because there are so many different types of people when you're in a city that you just become one more person who's different, and because you're all different, you end up all being the same. But like we live in a fairly smaller town here, and I find it very difficult to get my footing here and feel like I belong here because everybody else feels like they know what's going on and I have no clue.
Well, there you go. I mean, like, I don't know. It's also hard to describe that sense of community, even though, like, I've lived in areas where it's suburbia. Like, you don't really know your neighbors if you actually know them or get along with them. I mean, when I was with my mom, we were very friendly with the neighbors like next to us because from proximity, you would talk to them and nothing. I don't know any of these guys. Well, I think I've talked to one of my neighbors. The other guy thinks I'm a a-hole, so I am not going to go that direction and talk to anything. But yeah, it's like the thing with small towns and such is that not that I did anything wrong. Face making the faces now, but
I don't know what happened. That was something from before I was here.
Yeah. So yeah, but like that sense of community, like location wise, it could be one thing. But then also, if you want to segue into maybe online communities, because I think online communities are definitely not bound by location. Could be from people from different walks of life, different areas, from different time zones per se. Like coming together just to like form a sense of community. So like those are pretty much, I think, based on maybe like interest and such. I mean, I guess both of you guys can comment on that probably. Like, you probably have formed communities that your people. People are there. People support you. People will accept you. People won't judge you based on I don't know, like your name per se or your how you look and all those things and above and between. So, but I feel like even that, like if you go back to possibly like I don't know how that's not how you were around or what happened to you guys during COVID, because when COVID hit the United States, everything literally shut down. So we were all confined to our homes, didn't have much things to do, and I think to find a sense of community belonging without having to leave your house was online. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a sense for everyone probably in the last couple of years. That people that I probably have never met or seen in person, but I know them from online, and they probably live in other states, other countries, other time zones. And will I ever meet them? Maybe not. And if I do, that would be very, very interesting and fun to see someone in person rather than hearing their voice, seeing their picture on a stream if they're a streamer, or even just chatting with them per se because you met them in some kind of community for anything. But I don't know. You guys want to expand any comments or any points of what we're talking about so far?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay. Well, there you go. But like some of the thing is like, do you guys have anything from like feeling in between cultures? Because like I could feel like if you move to probably Faye for a lot going from south to the north, there's so many different cultural differences just based on geographical location, right? Yeah. And like that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what's like, is any what was the so like actually let me ask you this, what precipitated the move back to the Philippines? Like, was there a reason?
It was unplanned, actually. It was
Hmm.
unplanned, just life happened, and then it was right before the pandemic, so I ended up staying here. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Was there do you have, I assume Filipino, you probably did have family in the Philippines
I
besides.
did have a family, but then when I moved here, I ended up moving to the city completely like by myself and like
Oh.
um I'll talk about it a little bit later as well. I have some stories that I could tell, that I can tell you about. Because imagine moving to a place where you look like everybody.
Hmm.
You you are basically like in the same culture, but then getting around and communicating. Because I didn't know a lick of any word in my language, so getting around, I would just like point and then just make noises, and then when someone would come up to me and like ask me something, I'll just like nod and then say all right, and then hope that somehow it matched context clues, and then hope for the best. But yeah. Mm-mm.
I can imagine because I think I probably had a similar experience when I went back. So my mom's like, let's go back to Vietnam. This was before my sister was getting married, and I think my mom wanted to take us because we have never been back to Vietnam. Well, I was never there, so my sister was there for at least like until she was like, it was like five or such, or six or seven, I forget exactly, but she was very young when she left. So we
Mm.
went back, and like coming back there, I can see where I look like everyone here, but then my language, I only knew kind of enough to like conversationally, but then when you come across someone who's a native speaker, oh lordy lord, they just talk a mile a minute, and there's no way for you to discern
Yeah.
everything that they're saying because you're just like you have to slow down, you have to not. So like, but then being like a supposedly American Vietnamese person in Vietnam was like very eye opening because I was just like, a lot of things culturally, you know, just different than what you're expecting. Like, being that we were coming across there, the dollar just went so much farther than I guess than the current currency at that time. So, but it was just like an interesting experience. And then, you know, the funny thing, and then I don't think I never realized how much like when the fact that you being served Vietnamese food every single day, and you're just like, and then Faye probably would not understand this because it's kind of like opposite of what she goes through. But I was like, I couldn't stand Vietnamese food after a couple of days because like it's the same food choices over and over and over again, and I was like, can I get
Sounds
something different?
great.
And you know what they served me that was different? French fries. They took some potatoes, fried it on a table, handed it to me, and they were like, "This is awesome. This is something I have not, you know, haven't experienced in a couple of days." And then like, because like it's literally the same. You think about it, like you go to any place country wise, you experience their cuisine. But when you know their cuisine already, and you're just like, there's nothing really new there, my appetite went droop. So yeah, but so but that's the thing, and like I think this cultural things, yeah, you like you might feel comfortable there, but technically, for me, I didn't necessarily belong there. But it's just like, yeah, it's just interesting. Like, but then also like from going through high school, because when I was in Australia, of course, you know, predominantly Australians, predominantly mostly people like considered white, I guess, from Australia. And then going to the US where it's kind of more a smash podge of different people, then I started seeing more Asian people. And I was like, oh, there are people like me. And they're not hidden away somewhere where I have no idea where they are. So like I think when I did in high school I became like part of the Asian Students Association. So then there was like, then I get to meet after school. There are a lot more Asians. Kind of explore the cultural heritage and everything. And I think just I guess getting to know more about that was like eye opening. And that doesn't occur till I mean also comes of age too. Like you mean when people meet people that either that share the same values or share something culturally that they want to share or You just look like each other, and then you're like, oh, look at you, and then you're like, but then the communication barrier. If you're not able to communicate, that would be hard. But the teenage years being in like a city where predominantly English, then yeah. So, but no one, you wouldn't guess this if you know, because if you didn't know when I was a kid, I had a very strong, heavy Australian accent. You know what happened?
Mm.
Puberty. So I feel so literally from my childhood, I did sound a lot Australian, surrounded by that. Otherwise, everyone tells me my sister still sounds Australian, and I don't see it. She sounded the same to me my entire life, so I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely something of like surroundings and things. Things can influence you. Things can encourage you. Things can show you that you know you're not alone per se. But yeah,
How
definitely a
old was
sense of belonging.
yours? How old was your sister when y'all moved over here?
Um, Probably about 16.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. So, so yeah. Um, so like, I know we already kind of talked about it, but I mean, like, has anyone ever actually found where they belong? I feel like that's a loaded question because, like, you could find where you belong. You can be totally alone and be fine with it. But you guys ever had a sense of, I mean, it could be necessarily not a physical place, but maybe like a community. And I know you guys probably have communities that you feel that sense of belonging, but anyone care to chime in on that? I'll leave it open to you guys.
All you best.
No, because I was just gonna uh, bring up a little background story also, um, for when I felt like in between, and then kind of talk about uh, when did I like. Yeah, I think like you sent me the agenda. I'm just gonna go down through it because I kind of have a little bit of a flow, and
Yeah,
that will
go ahead.
lead to where I understood what belonging really meant, and where I feel like I actually feel like I belong. So, talking a little bit about where I felt in between cultures. So, again, in the home, even though we were a fully Filipino family, English was taught as my language, my first language and my only one, because my parents at the time, during the late like 90s and early 2000s, we were taught that if we were good at English, this was a ticket to a good life. So um, that's why it ended up being my only language for so long, ever since I was a kid. So I first felt in between cultures when I started going to school. So at kindergarten age. So for context, again, I grew up in an area that had a big expat community. So expat families sent their kids to school from different cultures, and they got to mingle with each other. And it just so happened that the time when I went to school, my parents sent me to a school that was fully South Asian. So I was the only Southeast Asian there. So most of the kids there were from places in South Asia like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I was the only Filipino kid there. So uh, that's how when I got to realize outside of my home, there's something called like
Mm-hmm.
different cultures,
Yeah.
and then it was just really cool to when kids share school lunches, and then we'd like try to explain to each other like what we're eating. Like I'd like share my pancit bihon, which is like stir fried noodles. Then someone will share like their alu bhaji, which is like sauteed potatoes with cumin. And then because we were in the Middle East, like someone's gonna have falafel and hummus and then try to like share it with each other. And then I just remember going back home to my Filipino mother, who at that time was still like unfamiliar with with the other cultures, because they like freshly moved there. I would ask her to make these recipes of these food of cultures that weren't hers. So but then yeah, that's where I got to understand the concept of like, oh, these people are from places that are different from mine. So this is me as like a kid in kindergarten, barely having like a conscious. So
Mm-hmm.
um, It was when I transferred school in the fifth grade. I transferred to a school that had a more Filipino community. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, finally my people. I was so excited to finally connect with people who were from the place that I'm from, who look like me, um, who understood the food that I brought in for lunch. Like I didn't have to explain, only to realize that I still felt like someone who is different, and um, because they didn't speak like me, or more like I couldn't speak like them. And of course, kids being kids, they wondered why I didn't speak like them. Of course, they would be like, "Are you even a real Filipino?" Or my accent sucks, or I sound more like I'm from South Asia than the Philippines. Because of course, I was around during my formative years. I
Mm-hmm.
was around mostly South Asian, so I sounded more like them just naturally. So for the longest time, I carried that embarrassment with me, and it hindered me from wanting to learn just because I was so afraid of making mistakes. Because I was like, I should know this. Like I'm Filipino, I should know this. I shouldn't be allowed to make mistakes, but yeah, that's where I realized, where's my place, man? Where is my place? But then, and that like kind of hurt me a little bit because um, I know I wasn't born in the country of my nationality, nor was I raised there, which was in the Philippines. Even now, the paragraph that I tell people when they ask me where I'm from, like for you example, Thai, like where do you say you're from? It's usually like a description, like oh you were raised somewhere, like
Mm-hmm.
oh
Yeah.
but then you're from this place,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and
It's a
yeah,
complicated backstory. I understand that entirely. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, so I it hurt a little bit because it even though when I moved back here, I still didn't feel like I belonged in a place that I was supposed to call home, which is here, because I'm so proud of our culture. I'm proud of our people. I'm proud of local talent, especially, even though they often get like overlooked and undercompensated a lot of times. I'm so proud of our land, and that is where it also hurts because I feel like I'm not Filipino enough just because I'm not fluent in my mother tongue and I didn't grow up here. But at the same time, in the same breath, I feel just as part
Mm-hmm.
as just as part of this place here, of what I consider my home, because I understand what it's like to stand for the causes that protect our people and to be angry for the things that hurt them, and for, injustices that happen to the people that I care about. And um, I also feel like all the more Filipino and like I belong here because I can down street food even more than some local people here are afraid to try.
Right.
So, but yeah, just like how I mentioned earlier, like it felt weird when I came back here. Um, I was so excited. I was an 18-year-old. I was trying to fill in a gap year. I wasn't supposed to move here permanently, but I found a job. And my parents were right. Speaking English like ended me, uh, bringing me to my first job. So it was at a call center. It was temporary, something to just pass the time. And yeah, that thing where I moved to a city by myself, I needed to learn how to move around, how to find food, and to feed myself. So I like go around and just like point at things. It's not like the people here don't know how to speak English. It's the second language officially of the country, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just because there's this still that embarrassment in me from when I was a kid. I was like, I should know this. Why don't I know this? But yeah, like if a stranger would walk up to me and they'd like speak really quickly, I'd just be like, "Eh, okay," and then try to get like my context clues. So thank God, over time I was able to assimilate slowly, and thankfully I never found myself in any harmful situation or from anything that I couldn't recover from, like getting lost. That would have been such a more difficult hurdle to get over, but
Oh yeah.
yes.
You
So
are surviving and flourishing, I would say. Yes. Mm-hmm.
yes. But yeah, so what exactly do I define home as now? Is something that you asked earlier. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I consider to be home or a place that I belong is not a geographical place anymore. It's uh, it's with people that I can resonate with, and I can stand for the same like causes and passions. It's not about where I was born or
Mm-hmm.
what's on my passport or where my
Yep.
passport is from, rather, but it's where my values align and I can care deeply about what happens to the people around me. Like their wins can feel like my wins, and their struggles feels a little bit more personal. And it's also somewhere I can both like celebrate and critique at the same time. And we were discussing about like online communities and stuff, and how we can feel like pieces of home in those communities. And yeah, like pieces of home can be found in unexpected places, like uh, places communities we found online just from people meeting people all over the world who resonate with the same. Some of them, they resonate with the same stories, the same games, the same passions, the same goals, dreams. Some people even have like the same struggles when you talk to each other. So it's like so crazy. Like some of them live in countries that I don't think I've ever been to. I don't know if I'll get to visit, anytime soon in
Yeah.
the near future. But yet we still connect over these shared experiences. So home doesn't have to be singular for me, is what I say. Um, I carry parts of these places that I've been and people that I've met, these communities, exposures to different cultures, diversity. The Middle East, I carry with me. The Philippines, I carry with me. Plus the pieces of home that I found in the places in the global community. I carry all of that with me. And actually, I did just a little segue, right? So I did like catch up on the previous episode, I think, or an episode before. Uh, did Faye, did you get a tattoo recently?
Yes.
Or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes. So I just like caught up on the other episode, and then I think it's your first one, right? First one.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just gonna talk about that because my first tattoo really ties into this topic a lot. So, what I've got on my back is a tattoo that conceptually it represents how um, every place, every person, and every experience that has shaped me um, becomes a part of me. And I carry those pieces um, with me wherever I go next. So even if I move, even if pieces will change or uh, they no longer exist like the way they used to, like just for context for that, the place that I did grow up in, like it doesn't exist anymore. So it's like I don't know how to explain where I'm from sometimes, but yeah, um, nothing that you've lived through is ever really lost. Or at least for me, it is. Um, all of that is like still stitched into um, who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
in a
So,
way, that's how I started to define home. So I try to not let the feeling of feeling in between get the best of me, because it's like I can pick up pieces, a bunch of pieces from these places that I can call home, and then stitch it into one place that I can say that I belong. So that sort of
yep.
thing. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Hey, you have anything you want to add?
I'm not gonna try to follow that up.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right. So that kind of I guess that could probably segue to our next topic. So we know
uh,
I know as you talked about creativity and such, and I know you studied graphic design. I assume graphic
mm.
design, right? But yeah. So can you kind of like give us like a background of your creativity path that you've chosen?
So I actually, this was a, also somehow it also ties into belonging because my background is a tech background, but it wasn't always that way. When I was younger, I was so convinced. I was like, I'm gonna pursue art, even though I didn't really understand what that fully meant or what the full extent of that. Yeah, what did it really mean? But then, as I grew older, of course, when you've also got Asian parents, of course they're gonna ask
Oh
you to
yeah.
become like a
Hmm.
engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer or something. But yeah, I ended up pursuing tech in university, and but yet still now um, I try to find the balance between pursuing or using my tech degree to rather to pursue something that I love, which is design, design and being creative. So yeah.
Uh, in terms of creativity, I mean, I know everyone has their creative outlets and such, and like,
Mm.
I think this podcast originated from more of like hanging out with friends online. So like the conversation just evolved from that, and then it's kind of come to this point a little more structured, and talking about similar topics that you usually would talk about normally in passing because there's a lot of interesting stuff. But I don't know, like Faye, I'm not sure how is your creativity thing because I feel like you've had many facets for creativity outputs, but how has that formed who you are today?
Uh, I mean, I haven't really found a way to blend my creative outlets with like anything else. So that kind of makes it a struggle sometimes to have the time for it.
Mm.
Um and then like I have the ADHD, so I constantly bounce between them.
Mm.
Um I don't know. I don't really know how to answer the question.
All right. Let's talk about this. So, like, you brought up tech. So, I feel like tech is kind of a more, like, if you're going to be creative, be an artist, or you want to make, stable money, a living, become in tech. So, like, is that shift balance between, like, like doing something you love to doing something that's more practical? Like,
Mm.
I feel like that probably answers the question for a lot of people because a lot of people probably are like, you know, I work somewhere I just very don't like it, but it's a means to an end per se. So like, is there a balance that you found kind of like to? Because I feel like based on what you kind of said earlier, you technically haven't like you went one direction, but now you're kind of falling back towards like what did you tech your tech degree? Does your tech degree cover design or no? I'm just curious. I didn't know if you said that.
It well, I just graduated in computer science just this month
Ah,
actually. So I'm
congrats.
fresh out of school. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll just go ahead and answer the question if it's okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
So um, I ended up pursuing tech because I knew there was some kind of freedom in there for uh for some sort of creativity to exist, like maybe become some sort of creative technologist in a way. Because before choosing tech, actually, I was in engineering as my first program, chemical engineering as that. So I took uh, I took classes worth 4 semesters, so 2 years. I was an engineering student, and I realized I don't know what to do with this. Like, I know you can put anything that you set your mind to, but knowing that I wasn't sure about the outcome, I wasn't willing to like put my blood, sweat, and tears into it to make it worth it. So if it's not like something that you're really striving for, then um, there's nothing in there for me to keep pushing, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So when I switched out, I did like look for something a bit more broader. So I did like look at fine arts, um, or multimedia arts. But then at that time when I was like choosing a degree to like shift into like out of my engineering degree, I honestly didn't know that much about what fine arts um, did or entailed or what multimedia arts entailed because nobody told me. People have, I mean, not people, but um, I was surrounded by family that kept on like pushing STEM onto me, and then so I ended up abandoning what aspirations that I had when I was younger. So that I just like put it to the side. I was like, oh, it's just a hobby. It's not something that I'm gonna pursue in the future. So it was like STEM career or nothing. But then I found tech to be like a happy medium for me. So I don't have to be jumping over rainbows. I just have to be okay with it, and that's enough. Sometimes it's enough, and it's enough freedom for me. And I guess with a tech degree, if push comes to shove, I'm able to have like some tools and knowledge to pick up and adapt if need be. So even if I complained about it for a while being in school, um, I don't. I don't really regret it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like I know some of your background, but can I ask you? Because I know this is probably, I know you've been a server. I know you did
Mm-hmm.
like hair. Like, what was that kind of like path choice? Because like, I feel like, I mean, something that I can understand to be practical, but I don't, maybe I never asked you, how did you even attempt to, was hair, oh, wait, the hair career was before the pandemic, right? Right before, probably, you decided. But then the pandemic hit. Is that the timeline?
Yeah, so my high school had a cosmetology program in it. They were still working out the kinks though, so everybody who started the year after, like when I was a sophomore, they became freshmen. If you started in the cosmetology program then and did it for all 4 years, you could graduate and immediately go get your state board license. I was not lucky. I did not get to do that. But Bess, it sounds like you had a lot of family support with like helping you through school and like giving advice and things like that. I didn't really have that, so I kind of got out of
Mm.
school. I actually got kicked out of my house when I was
Mm.
18, so that's how I ended up just serving for years because it's easy entry, decent money,
Mm.
comparatively to what I had access to. And then I was kind of in a position where like I had managed to save up enough money over the years for I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and continue doing hair because like I had been doing I had done it on the side for like friends and family after high
Mm.
school because I had done classes, I knew this stuff, I just didn't have a license to like go work in a salon. So I was like, I'm gonna go get finally licensed.
Mm.
Made it a few months into the program and then the COVID shut my school down.
Aw,
And
man.
then like the whole city got shut down, nobody's hiring, so all of the money that I had saved up to go back to school ended up just being used just to make it through the pandemic. So
Mm. Mm.
unfortunately that kind of died in the water.
Aw.
Do you ever think you would go back? I'm just out of curiosity, like if you had the opportunity to.
Because of recent medical issues that I've been having, I don't think I could actually do that career because it's a lot of time on your feet
Right.
and
Mm.
like it's rough on
Yeah.
your body, and the health issues that I've been having recently wouldn't really work for that.
Okay. Out of
But I
curiosity.
love it. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of creativity in it. Especially because like I had a passion for doing color.
Mm.
And I mean that's just painting on somebody's hair basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do love
Um
those coloring things, yes.
Mm.
it's fun. You can do some really cool creative things.
Yep.
But c'est la vie.
True.
I love
I don't
it.
know. It's kind of hard to like describe my career path. It's been like all over the place. Like college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so kind of like just to graduate college was like I'm going to put 2 degrees together that made no sense. It was what was it? Technology and web service, so like web applications, and it's kind of like you think that would be a creative field to go into, but at that point everything was still kind of like forming, so nada per se. So then I worked many years of retail. So that included working at a bookstore, working at a coffee shop, Starbucks, name drop, working at then working up at the a children's clothing store for a while, but then ended up to stocking overnight at Target and back to Starbucks, which kind of led the gamut of everything. I did study at one point to be an elementary ed teacher, so I do have these degrees, but they are not put to use at all anymore, which is elementary K through 6, middle school science and math, and English. I did not like history, so I never went that history route. I was like, I'm not gonna do history. And also ESL as a second language. I've done all the gamut for teaching, and I hated it. So at one point, I just decided that teaching wasn't for me, and then the span of retail took so all over the place until my dad at one point suggested, "Hey, you're good at computers. Hey, healthcare field is a pretty like decent field." And then there was a degree that put the two together, which is health informatics. So I ended up now in the healthcare field, working with computers, and it is a very, how you describe it, creative. Well, it's not as like a creative field as a standard you would think. But when you code stuff, and you need to code stuff to do certain things, you have to kind of think outside the box of what I need to do to accomplish
Yeah.
A, B, C to get to where I need to go, and make sure that the thing doesn't break down halfway along the way, or something happens
Yeah.
to it. So like a lot of science, like it's very interesting. Like my boss gave me like a problem the other day, and I need to like come up with a way to create something to send into a system based on bare minimal information that I would get. And I was like, okay. So then I just, you know, thought about it from what to do, and then slowly developed to the point where it's a full functioning thing where you send a message in, it sends it to the system appropriately and does what it needs to do. So they probably hears me talk about it every time like I do something like JavaScript program, because I use JavaScript a lot, and just like, yeah, do this, this, and this, and does this, and then it worked. And she's probably like impressed, even though she probably doesn't understand what I'm talking about half the time. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know some coding. I know how to break shit open and mess with code, just not like from scratch.
well, there you go.
I just do a lot of bodging.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
creative
felt
in its own way.
yeah, exactly. It's just like creativity in different like formats where you're not necessarily creating something for people to necessarily like visually enjoy, but you're creating something that's got a purpose and can do something that makes life easier. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but the field I am, I'm pretty like invested in, because like I deal with where I work with health information exchange. So like we are like the caretakers of a ton of patient data, so we have to get that data into the system, get the data out of the system, so that people like for continuity of care, people get their lab results go to their doctor, so their doctor can read them. We're kind of the hub for all that information. So a lot of stuff I work with is literally making sure that someone, and it's funny if it's out of state, so it's not where I live. It's a different state, like probably like it's New York, so like further up north than I am. So, but yeah, I feel like the field is rewarding. It keeps me like, able to afford a mortgage. Let's put it that way. So like, good enough to like live on my own. And now Faye lives with me, so she's here, like kicking in the house. It's a big house too, so if I were by myself, Faye probably confer. It'd be a very big place to be one person in. So yeah, but yeah. So creativity is definitely, it adapts as per se. Like it definitely doesn't really come one feel. Like you do something, you find something that you can apply your noggin to, and you go through there. But yeah, but like Dusty, you feel like you have that balance now. Like you have that background in tech, but you can still pursue creative fields need be in some areas. Like how do you feel about that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like the way I view it now is different. So, I'm just gonna start off with my history with this, uh, um, with surrounding like creativity, art, design. Like where did that start? No, where the hell did it come from? So, as a kid, right? So I was quite young. Um, I was always drawing. Like I would draw in class while I would sit like, quietly in the back of the classroom while waiting for the teacher to arrive. I would draw on the bus. I would draw environments outside. Like I'll draw plants um, in my neighborhood. Um, Back when children used to play outside, um, I would draw so much to the point where I was always the art teacher's favorite because I art class. I was the only like I was one of the few kids who took art class seriously. So that's why I guess they like had a they they liked me as a student. And I don't know if you've seen the the fourth film of Toy Story, was it, where Bonnie goes to kindergarten and then she like makes toys
Mm-hmm.
out of scraps. Like I was also
Absolutely.
that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was also that kid. And then to the point where my teachers like found the dolls that I would make out of like what was basically trash. Um, and to the point where they kind of brought the idea to the entire school, so other kids would also make toys out of trash. And they like, when kids play with toys, they create like characters and storylines. So these kids we're like reusing trash to make toys. So it's like, whoa. So as a kid, that like fascinated me so much that something like this, like there's influence in there, and like art in that way can be used to share ideas. So when I was younger, I was like, you know what? This is so cool. I want to be an artist when I grow up. And I don't know what that meant. Like, childhood wonder. Um, Sometimes yeah, I think about that from time to time. When you're so confident as a kid,
Yeah.
I would show my drawings to everybody and be like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be this. And sometimes we gotta remind ourselves of that like childlike wonder from time to time to keep us going. But yeah, things of course started shifting during high school when um, they started when not just like school like guidance or whatever, but also people around you to like pursue something in STEM,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can have a good and stable career. It's like, okay, all right, so that shifted, hence the engineering. And then hence the engineering. So then I did end up like not I did like end up moving away from art and like the drawing and everything for a little bit, just because I was focusing on school, studying my hard sciences so that I could get good grades on my exams and get into a good school hopefully. But in between those moments of reviewing for my physics and chemistry classes and exams, I picked up music. So just from one art form to another. Yeah, just from like
Yeah.
one art form to another. And then because I was so passionate about like music and like how sound can create a feeling, I wanted to share that with other people. So I ended up like tutoring young children how to play guitar and piano as well. And that was just like another form of art that I really wanted to share. And then so then came university. I did end up dropping the music because of that whole thing from engineering, and then shifted out and then moved back to the Philippines and stuff like that. But then yeah, found what brought me back was ultimately I just really liked what I did. I liked the fact that I liked like how I was making mistakes, and with each mistake i'm I'm learning to get like better, and because it's something that I like. And then I saw how like the sacrifices that I made towards being better at what I do seemed so much more worth it. So I wasn't willing to put that like hard work into becoming a chemical engineer because it wasn't something that I liked. It wasn't something that I was willing to work for, man. And but yeah, of course, respect to all the chemical engineers. Very proud of y'all for passing the boards. And one big reason why is also because I did believe in. I did believe, but one big reason why I was able to come back to this is because somehow I found community again. Like there were I found people that I could work with, people who were able to back me up. Like this also included like online design communities, right? Like people who critiqued me, people who got to push me, to mentor me. And I think that's like one big reason why so that's why I also really believe in community being able to push you when push comes to shove.
Hmm.
There's gonna be someone who's gonna push you, especially if they see potential. Then they're not gonna let that go. So in that sense, as I'm older now, so before I did mention, like as a child, I talked about how uh, I saw creativity as something uh, that came from like inspiration, almost like an escape, a little bit, of how a child like viewed art, very whimsical. But creativity now feels less like that and more something that I need to be responsible with. And then, yeah, something that I need to be responsible with because as a kid, it was like instinct, right? It was a child exploring curiosity. I drew a lot because I wanted to. I made dolls out of trash just because it was fun. I played music because I liked how the sounds made you feel. Um, it was without pressure. But now, as I'm older and I'm trying to make this something that I can do for a living, it comes with more intention. So it's not
Oh
just
yeah.
about expression anymore. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not about expression anymore. Um, it's more about what kind of impact can you make with it. So circling back to growing up and feeling like you're in between.
Hmm.
So for the people who have felt that before, I'm pretty sure like you're aware of what it feels like to search for that type of belonging. So I somehow try to tie it into how I create. So I think about the person on the other side of what I'm creating, who's receiving this, who is viewing this, who is perceiving
Yeah.
this, how it makes them feel, what does it do for them. And it's less romantic from when I was a child, right? How I imagined it as a kid. But um, um, when I'm trying, like, since I'm trying to build like a career out of this, I'm trying to be more disciplined. Um, it's about showing up even when inspiration doesn't, and
Hmm.
then
Yeah. Makes sense.
the iterating, the being uncomfortable, failing, and then trying again, and then still learning as you go. Um, so I guess the biggest difference now as an adult, um, creativity is not about um, who I am when I'm inspired, but rather who I choose to be consistently every day.
Mhm.
So it's not a dream that I say out loud like as a child. Oh, I want to be an artist when I grow up. It's something that I try to put to practice. It's uh, it's a craft, so
There you go.
it's a
Yeah.
commitment also. Yeah.
That does make
So
sense. I do apologize because I
mm,
think I did think you were design vet, and now I'm realizing you're tech. So apologize for
yeah,
making that assumption. But
yeah.
but yeah, I'm very close to. What is that? You have a channel reading. I was noticing. What is that highest one that you have on your channel? Is it for creating artwork as creative? Do you
Hmm?
remember that
Oh,
one?
it's like a custom artwork. Like if anyone wants an artwork, they can like redeem it, and then
I'm
we
very
can just be in
close.
communication.
I'm very close. I'm just letting you
Let's go.
know. Okay. So yeah.
Let's go.
All
Mm,
right. So I'm gonna segue off to another topic, probably because we probably all have stuff to talk about, because
mm,
we're all streamers and we all play video games once in a while on
mm.
channels. So before we kind of dive into it, I feel like is your video game experience that's kind of more recent? Because you said you didn't start gaming until recently, right? So can you go for that kind of background?
Oh yeah, like I didn't play games before pandemic. I think is when a lot of people like started gaming, started streaming. So I was also one of those people. Um, not the streaming part, but the gaming part. So it was only recently that um, fairly recently that I got into video games, and it's a big part of like my life now. It's a big part of like how I found other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of um, it's a big part of like how I consume media. So um, I think my preferred consumption now is like video games. Like instead of just like scrolling on my phone, I prefer
Mm-hmm.
to play games. And
Gotcha.
yeah, of course, since
Well,
background in tech and design,
yeah,
an
that makes sense. Wait,
appreciation for it all.
let me kind of
Mm.
tangent something in because I'm just curious. What was the first
Yeah.
game you played?
A first
Yeah.
game I played. Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Okay,
Mm.
first game I played. So the first game that I like properly played, Firewatch.
Ah,
Firewatch, because
good
it's
start
just
game.
WASD. Like I just
Yes.
learned how to use that, how to walk, and then just look around with the mouse, things like that.
Nice.
So yeah,
So wait, that's only recently. So like, can you time frame like years or how long ago?
like 2020.
Oh, 2020. Oh, that's pretty recent. Okay, sounds pretty recent.
Yeah.
So Faye, I know, I think we talked about it many times with the first game. Like, what was your first stint into gaming? Was that probably because you said probably was it your stepdad brought? Was it your stepdad that brought the video game system that one summer? Was that the first stint or no? You elaborate if I'm incorrect.
um, so like I had access sporadically as a kid. Like I'd go to an older siblings because I have like older step siblings who are like 16, 17 years older than me, right? So I'd like go over to their place and they'd have a system and I'm like playing Frogger. Or like go over to a friend's place and play like Clay Fighters. The first system my family had like in my home was when the original Xbox came out.
Oh,
Um
okay.
and it was a gift to like me, my younger sibling, and my older sibling. We were all living in the home and it was like a joint gift to all three of us. So that was the most consistent access I had to gaming, but even that wasn't super consistent when you're sharing between three siblings. And as I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, my two siblings didn't particularly like me, so I got pushed out often. I didn't start like gaming for real, like where I had my own system until I was 18.
Mm.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Hmm.
so but yeah, but I have played some of the older games like when they were more relevant,
Yeah.
like Ocarina of Time, Threads of Fate, Final Fantasy, some of the old Final Fantasy games. Like I was playing
Uh,
them. I did play them kind of like within a few years of them coming out, but yeah, it wasn't like consistent.
okay. Maybe because like I don't know if this is like maybe not reminiscent of your guys' experience, but my experience was like when I first started video games, it's technically like fighting or something like that has no story absolute to it, kind of button mashing, doing something, shooting something, and just like going from here. Like was probably like that's like literally my experience with like when I first started gaming. I feel like this whole thing is probably for us like because we play sometimes really complex games that like are more in depth and like had more story to it. And I don't remember the exact first one that I felt I had more invested. Maybe because I was Nintendo, so I'm way back there, say my age when I started playing games, the original Nintendo. But I feel like when I started playing, I feel like Super Mario. Maybe that was probably more like there's stuff to do. You go levels, you have to learn how to fight the boss, and then you have to save the princess. So like, you guys have a game where kind of like, oh, this makes more sense, kind of like story. But I think Best's experience probably is more recent, so you had the more expansive games that were very story driven and based like that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, like, do you guys have anything like from the first game where you're like, oh yeah, you know, I get it now. This is why video games are so good because like you get immersed in a story, and of course, yeah. So you ever see face streams love horror games, and now that we're living in the same house,
Fatal
I get the
frame.
IRL stream before the stream gets it, so I can hear it coming down the hallway while everyone else hears the scream on stream,
I
probably
love
like
that.
5 seconds later. But
Mhm. Get
that's
jump
all.
scared twice.
Yeah, I got jump scares twice. But yeah, like there. I feel like there was a first game that you. I know what Faye would probably say. But was there the first game that you were fully invested in? That you're like, this is amazing. I love this game. I could play this over and over again and not get bored. What was that game for
Ah,
you?
So I think I was in this. I was just gonna bring up like when I was younger. Also, I did like watch my brother play games. So I didn't play because we had the PS2 in the house, and I didn't have like one specific game that changed my mind about gaming. But a lot of it I could attest to when YouTube became a thing and then Let's Plays became a thing. I would wake up early in the morning and then right before I went to school, I'd watch like a new PewDiePie upload of a game he was playing, and then that like changed my mind about games and like how they can have stories. Because the games that my that the games that I grew up watching my brother play is like Dota, Dota, COD. So that's what like shooting, and then MOBA. And I didn't really get it before. And even with my classmates, like, oh, they're like really big into League. But then now I understand it. But back then, like, I had no idea. And of course, like, yeah, I got more exposed to other types of games through just like watching people play. Then I started seeing like more emotional storytelling in games. I even cried in some of them, but still, this was just me being a spectator. A moment where that made me go, "Oh, I get it now," is like not even a game that I want to keep on replaying, but it's like, "Whoa, I'm playing a game. I'm interacting with the environment, the music's changing based on my movement." It was journey. It was journey. So it was like again during the height of the pandemic, I was finally, I didn't really have anything else to do. I was with my
Yeah.
roommate. They had a PC. They're like, "Hey, do you want to try playing video games? I'll download something that you can finish like in one sitting. It's really like low risk." Then they downloaded Journey. Um, it's really easy. Like
Is
WASD. Mm?
is Journey okay? If it's, I want to see if it's the same game I'm thinking of, because the one that I'm thinking of was a PS3 exclusive many years ago. Is it the one where like you can't talk to your partner, you get like random matched with somebody and you just have to go through and solve puzzles together by basically kind of like hopping around and trying to get each other to do shit?
It's like the sand with the
Yeah.
sand. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
and you
That
have
one.
like the cake
Yes, that
thing.
one. That's the
Oh, that
one.
that was such a beautiful game. I
It's so
when it
beautiful.
I
first
have never
first
heard of this
came
game.
when it first came out, like 18 years
2016.
ago
Oh
on the
wow.
2016.
PS3, I played
Hmm.
it.
So
Yeah.
wait, what is the
So
purpose then? Is it like, or you guys explain? Sorry, go.
It's it's a two-player puzzle game,
Hmm.
no comms.
Hmm.
So you have like gestures. I think it's been so long. I think you have a way to like kind of gesture at each other, but you're trying to make your way like through the desert basically.
Okay.
And I remember like when it first came out, the art style is so beautiful. It's very simple, it's very beautiful, and like so
Hmm.
many people were recreating this scarf that like as you went, your scarf grew like magically. So it starts off and it's got these like almost glowing
writings.
embellishments on it.
Mm.
Pseudo's saying that it's 1 to 2 players. The 1 player option is new because when it came out, you had to be random matchmaked. If your
Ah, okay.
partner disconnected, you just got like they would try to match you with a new one, but you like could not progress without a partner
Oh wow.
originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really beautiful game. There's no dialogue, there's no nothing. It's really just it's vibes, like the music and the visuals. That's
Yeah.
all the communication. So that's
Ah,
what made
But
me
it still
go,
tells a
wow,
beautiful story without
right?
ever saying a word.
interesting. Okay.
Exactly. So that's what made me go, wow, I get it now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get it now. So
So
yeah.
Pseudo says they made a spiritual successor called Sword of the Sea. Have you guys heard of that at all or no?
No,
Where did you wait?
I don't know that.
Sort of.
He
I
said,
haven't heard of that one. No.
okay.
I'm searching
Alright.
right
Interesting though. Yeah, I haven't heard of it. I have to check it out. Puzzle games are very interesting. Me and Faye have gone through many kind of puzzle games, and usually it ends up either one of us yelling at each other because we're not communicating adequately enough to get through a stage. Like there's one. What was that one? That one Bokura, or was it the one
Oh,
where like
Bokura, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we
That
played
one
that
was a
in
little rough.
yeah, because like we had to like get through puzzles, and I did one thing and she did one thing, and then she had to kind of like explain to me. I'm like, and then like yeah, it's very fun those games where there's communication where you have to talk through things for sure. But I know you brought up I think on your when we talked to like your interests, soul like games, road like. I have no patience for those type of games, but I don't know if Faye has any either. But can you appeal to us too, people that don't play that game? What is the appeal of that type of game?
I don't know. Just I guess for me, like I know it's like a lot of boss fights and then failing over and over and then trying again and then trying again until you get it right. But somehow that gameplay loop, I swear, it made me a better person in real life. Like
It'll teach you
again,
patience if you didn't have it
Mm-hmm.
before.
Yeah.
exactly. Actually, I swear it like translated over into my waking life. Like for example, I'm going through something like really difficult. I don't know, maybe it's something difficult at work, maybe with a difficult person even. It's like I'll learn how to like cool my head. Give me like 90 seconds to like think about the next thing I'm gonna do, the next words I'm gonna say. And then if I like fail, then like I can always just like try again. Like um I can always just like try again. Or maybe okay, so in the game I'll die because I mistimed the dodge. In real life, maybe I just like miss something completely, or I miss like an observation or something. um what do I need to do to improve it the next time? Oh, just make some adjustments here. And then when you keep on like trying, you keep on learning. You'll keep on failing, but then you'll keep on learning. Like that's what I found so cool about those games. Like it's not just because I can actually feel myself like getting better at the
Mm,
game with each failure. So I think that's
true.
what appealed to me. And like the gratification by the end when you get it, I'm like, oh, okay, this feels good. And then somehow it translated into my real life where okay, delayed gratification. I'll put in consistent effort into
Yeah.
something, then it's gonna feel really good by the end. So that's like I don't
Yep.
know, that loop like somehow translated over. And yeah, I think that's how it became one of my
I can see that. Yeah.
yeah, in a way, right? So
True. I tried
yeah.
Like
Elden Ring for the
oh, go
longest.
ahead.
Let me finish. Point. I tried playing Elden Ring. I did not understand what was going on. Like, I would assume the fact like you are very low level when you start, right? And then you have to build up your level. Then you gotta go find bosses, and then you go find. And it's such a like a circle progression. Like, when do I actually get to what I need to do? And then like, someone said like, the fire or the embers will point in the direction you have to go. So I tried that. Ran into a boss, died instantly. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then like, I guess like it's the rinse and repeat. Like you approach a problem, you want to like, like try to like, what do you need to do to pass that? And I can see how that translates to what you're saying about life in general. But just like the time and effort to go into that. I can say for a lot
Yeah.
of people, it's like that's a lot of commitment to playing. I did not get. I got smashed by everything too. Also, yeah. Alright.
All good, man.
I would literally like go in like games like Tarkov where you can shoot people back and kill them instantly. I go like aggro like 5 nights or something and then start running away, turn around, they're still chasing me. Go back the other
Mm.
way because I can't take them all at one time. Because like, but yeah, so like, sorry, don't miss I missed the frag on the door. I know, cap. But yeah, I could see. It's nasty those games where you need to like, you know, like you know, fight, die, revive, start again, and keep going. And just like that loop just confounds me literally every single time. And I don't know. I don't know if it feels similar that way or how do you feel about it? Feels like games?
Contrary to popular belief, I don't actually like Souls games.
Well, true. Explain more. Elaborate. Like, why?
Look, okay, so I don't like games that have fighting in them on a personal level. Like, when I'm not streaming, you won't find me playing a game that has fights almost ever, unless it's like the old school, like turn-based, like old school like Final Fantasy, things like that, which is a totally different fighting system. But being a streamer and giving my community some level of say in what games I play, like there are like loose parameters, like keep it spooky, usually is the big one. I have gotten roped into playing games like Resident Evil. And like when I tell you I don't play games where you have to fight, I think I was like 2 or 3 streams in, each one being like 4 to 5 hours, right? 2 to 3 streams in of Resident Evil 7, which was my first Resident Evil game. And during a fight, I accidentally actually aimed the gun and was really confused. I was like, whoa, what the fuck did I just hit? And they're like, that's how you aim. And I'm like, what do you mean that's how you aim? And then someone's like, oh, she doesn't know. And so now I know the term. It's called aiming down sights. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know how to do it. I had just been, what was the phrase someone used? Shooting from the hip. That's what they called. I had been shooting from the hip the entire time because I didn't know there was another option. Everyone's like, I thought you were showing off. And I'm like, no.
Oh, does that segue my...
The boss fight's really hard.
That's true. Just to segue my kick chat that I want to kind of share with you, Faye.
Oh, no.
What about Baldur's Gate?
Oh my god, I want that.
Look, the only thing that I hate worse than fighting is open world. I like story driven. Baldur's Gate is not story driven. I've had some people try to argue with me because they're like, but it has such a good story. Yes, it might, but the story is technically optional.
There you go.
I don't like open world games, and I still don't know how this ended up in my library, and I am upset that it is there because now people want me to play it. There's a whole, there's lore here, Bess. There's lore.
What happened?
I don't know. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3 released to much fanfare. Everyone was very excited, right? Everyone was excited leading up to it. I do not know what happened. I do not know how. I have checked every record I can. Somehow, this game appeared in my Steam library the day the game released. I did not pre-order it. I have no interest in this game. I was not aware that it was there. I was actually sharing my library with an old roommate, and they're the ones that informed me. I also was not gifted the game. Don't know how. They were just like, oh, is it okay if I play this from your library? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have that. And they're like, yes, you do. It's right here.
Wow.
And it clearly says from Faye's library. I'm like, what the fuck?
See, someone else says it's your
everywhere
for you to play the game. And just for everyone listening, everyone does not, if you're not following Faye on stream, she had a goal for a second Baldur's Gate stream. Yes. She has yet to fulfill.
Well, okay, so the original plan was that I was going to do the second stream after I finished Silent Hill F. And that's been getting postponed because I've been having health issues, and it causes that game's really scary. They did the atmosphere so good.
Yeah,
but it makes my muscles super, super tense, and that's causing flare-ups with the health issues I've been having. So all my stuff has been getting pushed back. So I've only been playing games that, regardless of what other people feel about them, I find them to be cozy comfort.
There you go.
So it's not that I'm not going to do it. I do owe my community a Baldur's Gate stream. I am going to, but I need to not be in physical pain while playing this game.
Valid, valid. Look after your health first. That's what matters the most. Health is wealth.
Yeah. Also, if I'm
Yep.
gonna do it, like I want to give them a decent length stream, and I have been cutting some of my streams short at like 2.5 hours because it hurts sometimes to keep sitting
Mhm.
up straight.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I can't tell until I'm in the stream how long I'm gonna be able to stay. And until I've got this stuff under control, I don't wanna do that. My community kept up their end of the bargain, and when I do give it, I want to make sure that they get their money's worth out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
One thing I want to kind of do before the last point before we move on, because I gotta keep the ball moving. One thing that brought up, I think Beth had a thing about gaming versus doom scrolling. I don't know if you want to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
elaborate on that point.
Oh yeah, because I did like mention very briefly like how my my form of consumption now, instead of like scrolling on my phone, I'm just playing games because man, you know how it is with like social media and
Mhm.
the 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 landscape of the internet now and entertainment and consumption. When you doom scroll, or like when you're on your phone and you're just like scrolling through everything, and especially because we were talking about stuff related to community, you're consuming fragments that are curated by an algorithm that only reacts to you and what you like, and everyone's feed is different. So our digital experiences are all different and not shared anymore. So in that way, I know it was meant to to connect people, but now modern internet, it feels more isolating than before. Like I don't know if you felt that shift, but I did, and it just made me so sad. And but with games, like you can find people who are into the same games as you, and you can be more present as well. Even if you play like co-op games or competitive, like you can still find people. You can still find people to mold at. I don't know, but yeah, you're like more participative in
I
the
can see that.
content. Yeah, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you're also building skill, you're
Hmm.
building memory, and in a
Hmm.
way, it's kind of like a shared language because, like, you're into the same kind of stuff, and you can meet
Exactly.
people from all over the world, right? Who love the same game. Some
Exactly.
games, yeah, like some people are really passionate about some games, so the connection feels more intentional, and
That makes sense.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just wanted to throw that in there, just because a little thing. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel like so a lot of people are like these days are just like phone and there's like just scroll and like are you involved and like yeah, everything's curated for that person and definitely yeah. Oh, it's a crochet bee, yeah. Cito's like, there's a bee in your head, but it's a crochet bee. But yeah,
He's being
he's being
punny.
pseudo punny, yeah. That's true. But yeah.
We
Um
love Pseudo, but also please roll your eyes at him and his awful jokes.
Yep. Alright. I don't know. Do you have any to comment about doom scrolling, gaming, and like? I mean, you do both, possibly.
Yeah, no, I mean I definitely I will say like as like the pain goes up, the doom scrolling goes up. Um
Mm.
there's a direct correlation there. But I agree with Bess, like if I can play a game, I would rather do that because it's a more fulfilling
Yeah.
experience overall. Just games are art and the stories can be so rich, and even if you're not going in it for like the art and the stories, sometimes it's just a really good way to decompress and
Yeah.
come down from a stressful day, and like no matter what you need in the moment, there is a game that you could use to fulfill that. If you need, like, I have games that I play purely for the social aspect, like Final Fantasy 14. I don't play that, like, I enjoy the game, but I'm there for the people, I'm there for the social.
Mm.
And then I've got games that I'm like, don't talk to me, I'm in my place right now.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
All right. So I'm gonna move on to the gaming segment. I kind of structured this a little differently this time. Some rules. Each person has one question could be directed at anyone. I did put 2 examples in there, so you don't need to have to use them if you don't feel like those are appropriate. We're gonna kind of do first thing comes to your head, so like 5 second, like really reason, 5 second, and bubbles are now spotted my left side. 1 second.
What is that?
It's a bubble
That
machine that
is-
kicks off every time a still kicks in. It just terrifies me.
Oh.
But yeah. So yeah, you have a bubble machine connected to a switch. So when the Lumia hits that resub, it activates that,
Oh.
and then just spews bubbles this direction, totally at me. And sometimes I don't hear, but then I hear the wind up, and I was like, "It's coming!" And then it just hits me in the right
it's
side.
just enough time to brace himself
Yeah,
and nothing
exactly.
else.
Not the
Exactly.
bubbles.
Yeah. But yeah, like 5 seconds. Don't deflect on jokes. First, understand whatever comes into your head. So I have a question. So Faye always says Ty start us off because Faye never has the homework ready. But as curiosity.
Forget you. I actually had a question this time, but yes, you go first because you're the host.
Okay. So Baz, I'm kind of curious because I feel like being also from South Asia or Southeast Asia per se, that like I've had my fill of Asian cuisine, but I don't think I've ever identified anything as Filipino cuisine. So what is like what is the food palette, or what kind of examples of cuisine can you share that we might not know of that are most particularly to the Philippines?
I've gotten this question asked before, and I really went very descriptive with it, so I hope you don't mind. So
Yeah, it's fine.
you've got different cuisine from Asia that you might be familiar with. So you have, I think, in Vietnamese food, like they've got their herbs,
Mhm.
they've got like freshness in there. In Thai food, it's about the sourness, the bold flavors, the bright flavors. In Indonesian food and Malaysian food, there's like more spice in there, coconut curries, more yeah, they love like their spice. They're like a spicy Asian food place. But in the Philippines, how I like to describe it is kind of almost equivalent to soul food. So balanced flavors. Usually meals, when you go to restaurants, you don't like order for yourself. You order meals that can be shared between family. So that's how I describe Filipino food. So usually you'll order one like big dish and then share that between families. So I
Mhm.
think maybe you've heard of sinigang, which is a big like stew, a sour stew. It's almost like tom yum soup, but it's made sour with tamarind. So it's like it can be any kind of meat and vegetables, but the usual choices can be like it could be pork, it could be shrimp, it could be fish. My favorite is salmon, and it's a sour soup that's made sour with tamarind, tomatoes, and onions, and spring onions, and stuff like that. So, balanced flavors. My favorite is called kare kare. It is a peanut stew. So, think like an oxtail stew made with, uh, made with string beans, eggplants, oxtail, and like a thick peanut base. Oh, it's so good eaten with a little bit of fermented shrimp, just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more balanced in its saltiness. And you eat it over white rice. It's perfect. It's so good. So it's kind of equivalent to like soul food in a way, where not the flavors are not bold. We're not like a spicy Asian country. Not a lot of like herbs and spices in there,
Mhm.
but the flavors that usually are prominent in our foods, stuff like soy sauce, vinegar, sugar, and then balance all of that out. And yeah, so that's the Filipino cuisine. That's how I describe it.
That's nice, interesting. Okay. Now I have to like look around because I feel like I probably passed by one place, but I've
Mm,
never like paid attention. So I'm gonna have to do some research for
mm.
sure. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Faye, do you have a question?
Yeah, so she was talking earlier, Bess, you were talking earlier about like having grown up around like a bunch of kids from a bunch of different cultures, and I was curious based on like I don't know how much you traveled outside of that, but like based on like the kids that you grew up around and learning their cultures from them, was there a place that you were kind of like, if you could just pick up and go, money not an issue, was there a place from that you would like want to go check out?
Oh, what an interesting question. Where do I want to get up and go? A place where there's good healthcare, good
I just said
education.
money's not an
What?
obstacle. You're going just for the culture, not money. Like there's no money concerns in this hypothetical.
So, where would I go? Oh man, that's a loaded question. Because it's like all the cultures are so rich in their own way and so different. Like if I could, if I like went to someone's house and if I went to, let's say I've got like two friends, right, from different places. If I go to
Mhm.
each of their houses, it's like a completely, it's like I traveled to those areas. So it's like, what? Oh, I can't choose. Oh my God. South Africa, maybe. I love the
Mm.
food. I love their
Interesting.
food.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head. 5
Yeah,
seconds.
Yeah, I know 5 seconds and it's like South Africa. Like, what about the food
South
though? I'm just
Africa.
curious. Now I'm back to my cuisine thing. So
Baby, go for it.
can we expand on the food? I'm just curious. Like, what's South African food then?
They
Per
got
se.
good barbecue, man.
Okay. Sorry.
That was just
Gotcha.
off the top of my head.
Yeah,
It
just
very
like it.
much depends on what kind of South African,
Oh yeah.
because my ex-in-laws were South African.
Oh, which part?
White
Which
South
part?
African though.
Oh,
And their
okay.
food is very British and
Oh yeah, I
Oh.
can see that.
being bland.
Yeah.
Oh. I see.
So
Mm.
you need to find someone who, if you're going for the food, you have to find someone who's like ethnically South African, not ethnically British in South Africa.
Mm.
That
I
those
think
are
it's two separate things
different
entirely.
food
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah.
All right, Bess, you have a question.
My question is, I just wanted to ask, like, could I ask, like, about the podcast and then how did this come to be? Or, like, what was the
Those are
vision
tie
Sure.
behind this?
questions.
Oh, you're playing the wrong way on my screen, but that's fine.
Oh. Look, it flips on
it
me.
flips. I know. So yeah, like I was hanging out with friends online, and then we were just having conversations, and like it was late at night, and like I think it translates to the point where like, should we just do this every week now? And then like we just like get on, and it's like it should shoot the breeze. It's literally like anything that comes to mind. Four people got together, we just chatted. It could be. There was also a very long. I don't know if you guys are Genshin Impact people at all or no Genshin. There was a very
I
long
remember that segment.
Genshin segment that I just sat there and like, okay, I have no idea about Genshin, but it was fine. But like, it was just random, like just talking, and then like, I think we started doing that on the regular, and then at one point Faye comes on. It's actually Faye put this idea in my head. It's like, why
Hmm.
don't you record this and post it somewhere? And then now we get posted now, and then later on it's like, Faye, why don't you come back? So now Faye is end of the year, but the evolution of before was kind of just like random, nothing really to chat
Okay.
about. And then like, I think when I got further down the line, I was thinking like, hey, I need to like narrow the focus down. So like, because like there's one point where you can talk about the same stuff over and over again. I realize when you're talking about the same stuff over and over again, then to come by, well, if I have someone that's like random that only shows up once a month, then I can ask them questions about what they do and what their thing is, maybe learn something new. Like I think one month we learned about witchcraft, which I was not expecting to learn so much about witchcraft and all the traditions behind it. And then another month we had someone that's very into I guess was it marine biology, but then talked about all the sea animals. So then you get to learn new things where you don't necessarily,
We had a
will come up
physicist
and
on here.
yeah,
We had a ghost hunter on here.
yeah.
Wow.
So like more topics, like I think just getting the branch. I just now this comes to the point where I need to network and find new people to talk to. So it's always like
that is the downside of
That's the
having a new
downside of this
guest every
kind.
single month.
Yeah. So always kind of like going through, but I feel like it was just kind of a way to creatively, um, talk to people, talk about topics, and then kind of like now it's kind of like got to the point where like we talk to people one person new every month to get to know because when do you have conversations where you can sit down with people and just talk randomly and come up with stuff unless it's planned. So it's like I can plan it and thresh it out, and then you have things to talk about, and we can. And it's always interesting to listen to because, like Faye has point of view, I have different points of view. The guests on you have also different backgrounds, different point of views and stuff, and you might learn something that we never knew.
Yeah, like we've had some like really cool discovery because like Ty invites most of our guests. I've invited a handful or two, and like sometimes we'll invite them just because it's like, okay, we've connected with them, we know them, we think they've got good vibes, and then we start talking like behind the scenes, trying to plan out kind of what the episode's gonna be. And like you saw what happens, and then you find out something, they're like, they just kind of drop a little bombshell nugget of like, oh yeah, I used to do this thing, and you're like, hold up, when like we're definitely exploring that.
Exactly.
I think that's how we ended up with the ghost hunter.
Yeah, that was so out of left field. I was like, really? Like, how?
Like, wait a second.
When do you
We've
not
known
share
you
this
guys a
information
year.
anywhere? Yeah. I was like, yeah. So yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So
but we
those are my favorite episodes.
Yeah, I know. But if I do this every week, I would be drained. That's why it's only once.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So now we're just
that would be too much.
So it's always interesting to plan the last Friday of the month because usually sometimes it's Christmas or it's Halloween or it's New Year's. So like, we always have to like shift around. But then the magic of being online is we can talk to someone in the Philippines who's 11 hours ahead of us and still have a conversation. Or then we have to adjust with someone who's behind time zones and we play through it at an earlier time during the day. But it's always fun. And that's the magic of the internet. You get to connect to people that I would probably never run into you in person because you live in a totally different country or part of the world, but you're online. Hence I know you kind of a little bit, and this is my opportunity to get to know more about you. So that's how this evolution of the podcast started. It was friends hanging together to kind of learning about new people from different walks of life that you probably would never come across to in your normal day-to-day. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I like that.
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
so
it's been
now,
fun.
Yeah, that's been fun. Now you know what the part is. What is Faye's hyperfixation for the month? I'm assuming it might be like pain related at this point, like trying to like.
No, I'm trying to distract myself from pain.
Oh.
You know what? One moment. I have a thing that I can show off, but I need to. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, you forgot. I forgot to tell you about. We also had another problem. Faye has run the bad luck as I have with winter. There was a leak in her room, so she has been kind of displaced on bedding wise to the floor. Well, she has a mattress on the floor, but until we fix the roof part, she can't move everything back. In terms of maybe her stuff getting ruined again. So a lot of things have been happening in the last month that have not attributed better to her pain because she was on the couch for a good like couple of weeks before she's like, we ordered a new mattress. She's like, put it down. Now she's on the mattress, so slightly a little bit better. But yeah, it's been a very interesting.
Yeah, being on a mattress is definitely helping, but it's still a mattress on the floor, so it only helps so much. Okay, so with pain, I haven't been able to do my normal level of crafty stuff, but for those who've been around for a while, y'all know I love a book nook, and I believe it was Christmas when you gave this to me, Ty.
It was Christmas.
I couldn't remember if it was Christmas or birthday. Anyway, for Christmas, Ty gifted me this book nook set, and I finally put it together, and I want to show it off. And I know everyone here is going to appreciate it.
Let's go! Give me bathhouse.
Yep, it is a really bathhouse.
Yes, oh my
Yeah,
god.
let me
But
make
show
this
the
so I
extra
can
features
see.
to it.
So this is the front, and then
Let's
it's
go.
got decoration stuff on all four sides. There's a drawer here. It's hard to do when it's pulled away from me. It's got a drawer here. And then on this side, there is a second drawer on the second tier where the kitty cat is. And then on the top, oh God, I'm trying to not break anything while I'm moving it around. It has this that opens
Wow.
up. It's like a
Oh my
jewelry
god.
box. So it's got
Wow.
compartments up
And
there.
it lights up the light.
And
Turn
yeah, and
light.
then there's when you open it, the little light comes on, or just anytime you hit the
Close it.
button.
Exactly.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
I think this one took me about 12 hours. No, not that long. 8 hours to put together.
Wow.
Didn't you get a
Oh my
book?
goodness.
I got you a second book nook when I went to New York, right? Yeah. You haven't worked that
Yes,
one yet?
I haven't put that one together yet. I was really interested in doing this one because of it being a jewelry box as well.
Yes.
And I was like, how is that gonna work? I will say I've never tried this brand before. It's called this brand is called Tone Cheer. I've put together several book nooks.
Ooh.
Tone Cheer, this was the first time I'd ever done one for them, and I have to say I'm very, very pleased with the quality. The pieces all fit together quite well. They're very, very snug. Previously I would have said my favorite brand was Cute Bee. They're good, but for things to feel like they're gonna stay together, I end up gluing a lot more than it calls for. I only glued when it told me to, because everything is super, super snug. In fact, part of the reason it took me as long as it did is because I had to give my fingers breaks from pushing everything together. It got a little bit sore on my fingertips because I don't quite have calluses anymore. Because it's like super, super snug. But it fits all together really, really well. There was never a part where I was like, this isn't going to work at all.
Yeah.
The instructions, I mean, they don't put words. It's all diagrams, but the diagrams are done in such a way that it is very, very clear exactly what you are doing at any given time. So if you're looking for something that's like kind of crafty but a little bit guided,
Mhm.
or if you need
Hell
like
yeah.
a step up from Legos, it essentially is.
It is.
You're popping out wood
I
pieces instead of
agree.
putting together plastic
Yeah.
plastic blocks, but yeah. Thank you, Ty, for
Yeah, no problem.
this. I was very, very happy, and it looks great.
It looks amazing. Oh my god, good job.
Yep.
Very reminiscent of Yubaba's bathhouse.
Yes, exactly. Out of curiosity though, because I kind of want to tie into the theme, like, what makes book nooks for you very like fun and enjoyable? Because I know you're creating something, you have instructions to create it. Is it like when it comes together? Is that the dopamine effect that you got completed, and it's like
I very much like to do things with my hands. Like every craft that I have is very, very hands-on. Like I know some people they draw. That's never really been a thing for me in my artistic stuff. I always gravitate towards things like binding books and knitting and things that have like a finished object at the end. So like this definitely fulfills that, like giving me something finished at the end, something that I get to enjoy looking at just when I pass by. But it's a little bit more guided on the days that I'm having like brain fog or high pain, and I don't like, because when you're having high pain or brain fog, you can't really like think. It's harder to put forth the full creativity yourself, but you still have the urge to make. And this gives me the way to where I still get to fulfill the urge to make, but not have to do all the planning steps that can be kind of this is really hard to explain if you don't have like pain issue, like chronic pain issues, but like it's sometimes hard to, it can be draining. It's extra
Mm.
draining to have to do the
Mhm.
planning and the prep and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas like this, the planning's been done, the cutting
Yes.
has been done. I get to pop it out and put it together and still feel like I've accomplished something. And I did accomplish something. I now have something pretty to put on my bookshelf.
Yes.
There you go.
So yeah.
There you go. All right, cool. Is there any? Yeah, you've seen. You have to see all the other book nooks that Faye has made. They're very complicated, intricate, and very nice. On point. But yeah, so definitely, something to like focus your creativity into to create a project that's finished. Wait, how does it compare? Because I can see in the background the Lego I got you. Is it a lot
Yes.
easier per se?
This
than...
was super easy. This
Yeah.
took me about an hour.
There you go.
This like it's cute in the distance. I like the idea of the Lego kits, but they always just feel a little bit like. Have you ever seen the needs more JPEG memes?
Mm.
So like when there's a picture that's like really really grainy, or like you can like only like kind of barely tell what it's supposed to be, you always have someone responds with no, needs more JPEG, basically like making fun. And that's what Lego kits kind of feel like to me. They kind of feel like needs more JPEG.
Yeah.
I love the detail level. And now I will say this, don't start with this one. This was a 5-star difficulty.
Yeah.
Start with like
intricate.
a 2-star. It was very intricate.
Yeah.
There's stuff happening on the inside and the outside. Most of them don't have 4 sides of stuff happening on that you're trying to put together simultaneously. Like start with like a 2-star or a 3-star max. Just to get your foot in the water. But
Faye was almost like this close to buying me a ramen house book nook, but she's like, I don't know if you really would enjoy it because you always said that your attention span is too short, and so we never know.
Yeah, I was looking at it for Christmas, but yeah, you've made comments because I've put together a couple book nooks on stream, like did like crafting streams. It's really great for like when I'm wanting to just chat with the community because it gives me something to do with my hands, something for people to look at. But mostly, I'm getting to communicate with everyone, and the few times like Ty had mentioned like, oh, I wouldn't have the attention span for this, but like he does the ramen house thing, so like. Ty, if I bought it and put it together, is it still a gift? If I'm doing it specifically because I want you to be able to decorate with it.
Either or, that'd be good. I don't know.
Or do you want to put it together? I don't know, but I can't do it as a surprise. That's the problem.
Putting it together is like half the fun. The majority of the fun.
But is that something that he would find fun is the problem, because not everyone does.
Yeah.
And if you give, so this is a gift for me because I enjoy the process of doing that. But if you give something like this to someone who doesn't enjoy the process, you haven't given them a gift, you've given them a chore.
Chore.
And I'm not trying to give Ty a chore, but
work. I gave you work.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna kind of wrap it up per se, but kind of a discussion question I put out on the thing was, because like we were talking about belonging, right? So like if someone feels like they don't belong anywhere, what would you tell them? Like could be anyone, it could be someone just met or someone that you talk to, or it could be someone that you don't really know. I mean, like it could be either or, like random person. But like, I don't know, what advice would you give to someone per se? I will lead it off because I always leave this awkward pause when I say something and pause, and then Best and Faye are like, "Who's gonna say something first?" I don't know.
Yeah, we need to have a rule in place, I think.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like, I feel like home is always like, or somewhere like home or where you belong is always like the least where you expect it. Like you're never looking for it. It's always there. It exists. You just like never put the finger on. This is it. And, like. Like technically, like I think a lot of stuff would be like your people could exist like in your life per se. They could not, like they could be actually physical people, or they could exist far away in a different state or a different country or a different time zone that you communicate to on a regular basis. But that's like, so that kind of takes out the geographical location out of it. But it's home wherever you feel the most comfortable, where you feel the most supported, where you feel you're not judged, and that you're encouraged there no matter what. No one's going to, because family is another thing. Like, you think about family, the worst part about family, they're very judgmental, and they can tell you what they expect you to do and not to do, and feel like they're the right. But technically, they only know you by proxy because they know you since you were born until now. But people that I met along the way, that either I'm in my life still or not in my life still, that those are people where I find the most community, where I can talk to, where I feel most at home at. And that's why I tell someone, it's not where you least expect it, it's where you almost least expect where to find that sense of belonging.
Yes.
And there you go.
True.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
You guys anything you want to add to it at all, or?
I'd say belong to whatever makes you excited, man. Like, belong to the things that light you up, like music, art, maybe gaming, ideas. Because from there, you can find communities, and communities form first around shared interests before they form around shared backgrounds. So,
True.
you might not find a single place that you'll feel like 100%, right? Sometimes it's cumulative. A little piece here, little piece there, a friend group here, a creative space here, an online community here. You don't have to find one place that fits you entirely. You can stitch it together. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
And if you can't find a place, you can build it.
Exactly.
Exactly. The moral of the story there, right there, folks. You can't find it, make it, and they will come. So there you go. Was that Field of Dreams? Yeah, it was Field of Dreams. Probably no one knows that movie, except for me, probably. But the guy, well, here, just it in like 4.2 seconds, because very short. A guy like had a vision from whatever, like, I don't know, up their place. It says, build a baseball field in the middle of a farm, and they will come. And then the whole movie progressed by, I guess, like, baseball players or like former people that like from every walk of life come to the field, like randomly show up there, and like and then like people just come from everywhere because then they'll get a chance to. It was kind of like a connection to the what do you call it, the afterlife per se. So those are about life. Build it and they will come. So build a baseball field in the middle of a country farm where no one plays baseball per se, but yeah. Field of Dreams, I think that was on portrayed. But all right, so let's sum it up or kind of wrap it up. Just go through like the 411 where people find you. What is your next when you're gonna be streaming next, or even I think we already talked about home. We talked about everything. What else? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you planning? What's your next creative outlet? And Bess, and Trader Gus, go ahead. Go first.
So I'm currently just working on more 3D art that I can post. I'm also working on our design and dev agency on the side. So that's technically what I'm doing on stream when I'm co-working on stream. That's like the content of that I'm working on. And where can you find me? You can find me Berserk here down there. You can also find my Instagram with the same name. And yeah.
There you go. All right, and Faye.
I will be live tomorrow night where we're going to be continuing a game called Homicipher, which is probably the most interesting game that I have played in a long time. So if you like the concept of horror and language learning and a dating sim.
A dating sim. That's a lot to
I love
unpack
Bess's
there.
face there.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're interested in all of that and how it fits together, tomorrow night at about 6:30, I will be live.
All right, and I will be back Sunday with some more Escape from Darkrock, of course. I will be editing this podcast still and will be posting it on Monday. So definitely the podcast will be on Spotify, Also on, oh, he's been streaming Elden Ring in 6 hours. That's fine.
Yes, actually, I
But
forgot to say.
yeah, I was like,
So
should be back in 6 hours.
if you're not watching this live,
Yeah.
it is 10 p.m. Eastern time, and in 6 hours, Bess will be live playing Elden Rings.
She is in the future for all you guys wondering.
Yes.
So yeah, podcast will be posted on Monday. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you follow. YouTube VOD will have the whole VOD of the podcast up there. But yes, StarCraft again on Sunday, and I'm very excited. I've been playing. You guys probably, I don't know, any of the Trekkies out there. The Voyager Across the Unknown. Pretty much, you play the Voyager TV series from the get-go till now, but you do all the choices, and you also have to manage the ship. So I'm very excited to keep managing the ship because it's base building and just running around the cosmos, trying not to kill all my crew and destroy the ship in the process. So there you go. It's all going on. But I'll catch us back then for there. And all right, so, and also, girls, if you can't find your home, as Faye says, create it and they will come to you. So there you go. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.